You open an app, you book a place. A cozy apartment, perfect location, surprisingly affordable. It feels like a smarter choice than a hotel. But what if that one booking is quietly contributing to a system that's making it harder for someone else to live in that very city? Because behind millions of short-term stays, something deeper is happening. A shift that is slowly transforming housing across the world. And most people never notice it. Airbnb was built on a simple, almost idealistic idea. Let ordinary people rent out extra space and earn income. A spare room. An empty apartment during vacations. A way to share unused space. In the beginning, it felt harmless, even beneficial. Travelers saved money. Hosts earned extra cash. Communities welcomed visitors. But over time, the platform evolved. What started as occasional home sharing turned into something else entirely. Instead of individuals renting spare rooms, entire homes began disappearing from the long-term market. Properties that once housed families were now reserved for short-term guests. And that shift created a question cities around the world are still struggling to answer. Is this platform empowering people, or quietly reshaping housing in ways that make cities less livable? The story begins in 2008. During a global financial crisis, two roommates in San Francisco rented out air mattresses in their apartment to make extra money. That simple idea became Airbnb. It grew fast. The platform offered something hotels couldn't: a personal, flexible, often cheaper experience. Travelers could live like locals. Hosts could monetize unused space. Within a few years, millions of listings appeared across cities worldwide. But growth changed the nature of the platform. What was once about sharing space became a global marketplace for property. And that's where the consequences began. In its earliest phase, Airbnb was built around simplicity. Most listings were modest: spare bedrooms, couches, or homes rented out occasionally when owners were away. It felt personal, temporary, and rooted in everyday life. But as demand surged, the platform began attracting a different kind of participant: investors. These were not people looking to share space, they were looking to maximize returns. Properties were no longer purchased as homes, but as income-generating tools designed specifically for short-term rental markets. The reason was clear. In many cities, renting an apartment to tourists for a few nights at a time could generate far more revenue than a traditional monthly lease. This financial advantage shifted behavior rapidly. Homes gradually stopped serving as places to live. Instead, they became optimized assets. Neighborhoods turned into opportunities, and housing itself evolved into a scalable business model driven by profit rather than permanence. Housing markets depend on one basic principle: supply and demand. When homes are available, prices stabilize. When supply shrinks, prices rise. Short-term rentals reduce supply in a very specific way. Every apartment turned into a full-time Airbnb listing is one less home available for long-term residents. At a small scale, this effect is almost invisible. But at scale, thousands of units, it becomes significant. Cities like Barcelona, New York, and Lisbon have reported entire buildings converted into short-term rentals. The result? Fewer homes for residents, more competition, and rising costs. For renters, the impact is direct. When landlords realize they can earn more from short-term guests, they have a choice: stable long-term income or higher, flexible short-term profit. Increasingly, many choose the latter. That means fewer rental units available for locals. And when supply drops, prices go up. Renters are forced to compete harder for fewer homes. This disproportionately affects middle and lower-income residents, who are often pushed out of central neighborhoods. Over time, entire areas become financially inaccessible to the people who once lived there. Not because they chose to leave, but because they were priced out. Housing is more than just shelter. It creates stability, supports relationships, and builds a sense of community over time. But when neighborhoods become saturated with short-term rentals through platforms like Airbnb, that foundation begins to shift. Permanent residents are gradually replaced by a constant flow of visitors. Familiar faces disappear. Neighbors stop recognizing one another. Daily routines that once defined the area slowly fade. Local businesses adapt as well. Grocery stores give way to souvenir shops. Cafes that once served regulars start catering to tourists. Services shift toward short-term demand rather than long-term needs. Even the atmosphere changes. There is more noise, more turnover, and less consistency. For those who remain, the experience can feel disorienting. It's like living in a place that no longer belongs to them, not because they left, but because everything around them quietly transformed. As these effects became visible, governments started taking action. Cities introduced regulations like limits on how many days a property can be rented per year, mandatory registration for hosts, and restrictions on renting entire homes. The goal was simple: protect housing supply while still allowing short-term rentals. But enforcement is difficult. Airbnb operates globally, regulations are local. This creates a mismatch. Some hosts bypass rules. Some listings operate unofficially. Some cities lack the resources to enforce policies effectively. As a result, regulation often lags behind reality. And the system continues to evolve faster than the rules designed to control it. Supporters of Airbnb point to clear advantages. For hosts, it offers extra income, financial flexibility, and a way to monetize in used property. For travelers, it provides more affordable stays, unique local experiences, and greater choice than traditional hotels. Cities also benefit through increased tourism, higher economic activity, and more spending in local businesses. But critics argue these benefits come with hidden costs. The gains tend to concentrate among property owners and investors who can scale short-term rentals. Meanwhile, the downsides, rising rents and reduced housing availability, are distributed across residents. This creates a growing imbalance. Some individuals profit significantly, while others struggle to find stable, affordable housing. The system itself functions efficiently, but not fairly. It rewards those positioned to capitalize on it, while placing pressure on those simply trying to live within it. What makes Airbnb different is scale. It's not just a marketplace. It's infrastructure, a tool that allows millions of properties to be listed, managed, and monetized globally. At small numbers, short-term rentals don't disrupt housing, but at scale they reshape it. Thousands of units removed from long-term markets can shift entire pricing structures. Entire neighborhoods can transform. The platform doesn't force this outcome, but it enables it. And when enough people follow the same incentive, maximize profit, the collective effect becomes powerful. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Airbnb was never designed to harm housing markets. It didn't start that way. The original idea, sharing in used space, still exists. But incentives changed. And when incentives change, behavior follows. What began as occasional renting became continuous operation. What began as individuals sharing homes became investors scaling portfolios. The impact we see today isn't the result of one decision. It's the result of millions of small decisions, each one rational on its own. List your apartment, earn more money, optimize your property. Individually, it makes sense. Collectively, it reshapes cities. And that's the hidden truth. The platform doesn't create the problem directly, it creates the conditions where the problem becomes inevitable. Airbnb changed how the world travels, but it also changed how housing works. And the effects are not always visible until they are. A rising rent, a missing apartment, a neighborhood that no longer feels like home. The question isn't whether the platform is good or bad. It's how its incentives interact with something as essential as housing. Because housing is not just an asset, it's not just a source of income. It's where people build their lives. And when that foundation shifts, even slightly, the consequences ripple through entire communities. So the next time you book a short stay, ask yourself, what does this system look like at scale? Because the real story isn't in one booking. It's in millions of them. If you found this breakdown insightful, subscribe for more deep explorations into the hidden systems shaping our world.